Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca. And today in NHL 21, there was a whole new set of cards that came out, and they're based off of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And Tony the Tiger's all over this one. And hopefully they're great, just like they say on the cards. I don't know if they really are, and I know that was super corny. But it is what it is. I'm going to go over the 4 Master Collectible cards for this one, which is going to be the Doughty, Martin Brodeur, Saku Koivu, and Jerome Iginla. As well as I'm going to go through and rank all 32 of the new player items that are considered franchise greats. I'm going to go over the 90 overall version of these master items. I'm not going to go over the 91 overall version. You just add +1 to every stat if you guys don't know how those works. The reason I'm going to go over the 90s is because I think that it's more advantageous to spend the 10 gold collectibles on the 90 overall than bump it up 2 more gold collectibles to get a 91 overall, in my personal opinion. They're pretty much the same card. That +1 speed, +1 shot, I don't think matters enough to warrant the extra 2 gold collectibles. I'm going to show you real quick, too, at the beginning of this video, how to get these cards. Other than buying them in the auction house or getting very lucky in packs and pulling them, there is a way to kind of use your coins that you've either gathered from flipping on the market or not to obtain these 90 overall. So we'll go over how to do this set real quick before we get into doing the review of the 4 cards. Let's get into it. So to get to the sets, you want to go to the exchange tab here. You want to go to sets, and then you're going to get in here. You're going to go to franchise greats sets. And essentially, to get any of the gold collectibles that you're going to need for this set, you have to trade in 50 players, or you can pull a gold collectible out of a pack or get it off of the auction house. So 50 gold players, it doesn't matter if they're 74 overall or if they're all the way up to 99 overall. Then you go to random. Then the next set, then the first set that features these Frosted Flakes sponsored cards here is a random franchise great player set for, I believe, 2 gold collectibles, which I think is way overpriced unless you get one of the good franchise greats, because there are some absolutely terrible ones, and you'll notice that from the video when we go over each one of them and kind of rank them. There's 32 of them. I would say maybe 6 or 7 of them are worth getting. The other ones are absolute garbage. So we're going to go to the next set here is franchise greats player choice set. Once again, for 3 gold collectibles, I don't think it's worth it because you only get to choose between 3 of the 32. What if you get 3 bad ones? You've wasted so many coins, it's ridiculous. Next, you're going to go with franchise greats 90 overall master item, and that's these 4 cards I'm going to do the Chewy review for. And I think for 10 gold collectibles, even though it's untradeable, I think it's kind of worth it in my personal opinion. Then the next one is you get one to pick one of the 4, except this is for 12 gold collectibles, and you can then sell them later. It might be worth doing the gold collectibles to sell them later, but to me personally, I don't know if it's worth it or not worth it for the extra 2 gold collectibles. Like, I think these cards are relatively close to end game. They're going to be players that you can use for at least the next couple months, so I don't know if it's worth having the ability to sell them. I don't know how many coins are going to be worth when like the 95 and 96 overalls come out and these guys will get rotated out of your lineup. Unless your team's absolutely stacked, then it'd probably be worth it. Then these are the sets for each of the individual players. How each one of these sets works is you have to trade in gold collectibles and then their jersey and their number. So you can actually get their jersey and their number for relatively cheap. I will say I misspoke earlier. You don't have to. It's not 12 gold collectibles. It's actually 11 because it's the 2 player items and then 11 more items. So it's going to be 11 gold collectibles. Either way, I just don't think it's worth the extra 50K or so coins minimum unless you get lucky and pull one out of a pack. All 4 of these sets are going to be the same. It's the player jersey and their number. And then you're looking here. You can get actually an icon collectible if you hand in these Tony the Tiger franchise greats. And you can get an icons collectible. So I would do some of the challenges and get some of these collectibles so you can trade them in for an icon collectible. You're saving about 50,000 coins. I think that's a pretty good value. And then here is for 5 of them, you can get a franchise great pack. I'm assuming it's just a random franchise great player. So it would actually be worth doing this as well. I think personally I would trade in the 10 Tony the Tigers here first. And then if you get 5 more, trade in the 5 more. See if you can get lucky, get one of the higher level guys that obviously are going to be untradeable, but it's worth doing to get some of these collectibles. I think this is the first group of sets that's actually worth doing the collectibles to hand stuff in, because you can get like an 89 overall Crosby or 89 overall Gabrick, which would be a huge pool out of one of these packs for free, to be 100% honest with you. Now that we've kind of gone over the sets and how to obtain these 4 players, let's go in, give them their Chewy reviews. I'll let you know which one I think is the best out of the 4, and I'll let you know who my favorite player is out of the 4. Maybe you guys can guess who it is. I'll give you a hint. He's the only guy out of the 4 that played for the Pittsburgh Penguins, so you figure it out. But let's get into their reviews. Saku Koivu. First up, we're going to have the 90 overall Montreal Canadian great that played for the team from 1995 to 2009. Saku Koivu wore number 11, was actually my favorite number growing up. I wear 15 now if anyone's curious. But he was actually one of my favorite players to watch because he was kind of like a true two-way forward. He was great defensively. He was relatively above average offensively. He actually has good synergies here with the Spark and the Speedster. The Speedster is very intriguing. It makes this card a lot better than he looks on paper, and I'm pretty sure everybody has at least 3 other guys with Speedster besides this Koivu if you put him in your lineup. He is a left-handed shot, 5'10", 181 pounds, so good height to weight ratio, which is something that's also positive about this card. You're looking at his skating. It's probably the worst aspect of this card. 84 acceleration, 90 agility, and 86 speed. But what I said with Speedster, you throw that Speedster and you get him to 90 speed. And if you have a team with Spark, he gets the acceleration as well. So you could turn this card into an absolute monster just by activating his synergies, which is very intriguing to me. And then on top of that, his shooting rivals the Joe Sakic 87 overall that we've gone over with that 92 wrist shot power, 89 wrist shot accuracy. His slap shot mimics those attributes. Then you're looking at his hands category here, looking at 90 plus. Great setup man in real life. They give him the 91 passing. I really like that, the 92 offensive awareness. Defensively, they actually give him 88 body checking. I don't know how much he's going to be able to throw the lumber per se, being that he's only 5'10", 181 pounds, but I do actually like that. It seems like he'll be able to bump guys off the puck, making him a true two-way forward at your center spot. And then defensive awareness, ridiculous. 92 defensive awareness, 93 stick checking. Honestly, this guy could be in your lineup for the rest of the year. Maybe slot him in the 4th line center, the 91 faceoffs. I'm not saying as a 4th line center right now, but I'm saying like end game, like there's a bunch of 95s, 96, 97s, 98s overalls. At the end of the game, he could still be in your lineup as your synergy plug at the back end here with 91 faceoffs as your 4th line center. So I almost see Koivu as an end game card right now. Because of that, as you guys have maybe seen from 1 or 2 of my NHL videos, if you're an MLB The Show watcher, you guys know how the Chewy reviews work. They're ranked 1 through 5 Chewies. You're going to see some Chewy heads pop up here. I base it kind of off their price, what they bring to the table, and how good of a card I think it can be for the eternity of the game. I think this Koivu could have a place in your lineup for, like I said, several months. Therefore, I'm going to give this Koivu 5 Chewies. I think he's an elite card, elite synergies. Really like this guy right here. 5 Chewies is what I'm giving to, which is the highest rating you can have. Martin Brodeur. So arguably the best goalie of all time. Brodeur played with the New Jersey Devils from 1992 to 2014. And he's 6'2", 220 pounds. He was like the first true hybrid goalie. And he was just amazing in real life. The biggest downside of this Brodeur is he's a goalie. So when you get a goalie, you're thinking about synergies. He has awful synergies for a goalie. Barrage and Heart and Soul, not 2 of my favorites by any means. I wish he would have like Distributor or Swarm at least. But he is one of the better goalies in the game. He is a relatively big goalie at 6'2", but not like too big where his 5-hole opens up and then he doesn't move that great side to side. Even though I know everyone loves the big goalies, I prefer a guy that's actually anywhere from 6'2" to 6'5". You get some of those giants like the Ben Bishops and stuff. I just think that overall they don't move enough, at least in this year's game. I think the goalies just have to have a little bit better agility. I think that 6'2" to 6'4" height is the best height in the game for a goalie this year. That's just my personal opinion. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with it. Looking at his attributes, they're obviously all amazing. Everything's looking like it's 89 plus. Most of it is 90 plus. His lowest attribute is going to be aggression, which is actually pretty good, which means he won't be over aggressive and out too far, so he might not get caught out of position. And his poke check's 86. Looking at his high glove and stick is 90. Low glove, low stick is 90 and 91. Speed 89, very good. The vision and agility, 92 vision. It's going to be hard to screen the guy. And then his positioning, 92 positioning. That's huge in this game. 92 5-hole. And he's pretty decent on breakaways. I don't know how big of a statistic that is if you don't let up a lot of breakaways. And 91 rebound control. I do think Brodeur is probably the best goalie in the game right now. I'm going to give him 4 Chewies. His synergies are too much of a letdown. For goalies, it's all about synergies. I think you can get away with a lesser goalie that has better synergies than this Brodeur. So we're going to go with 4 Chewies. I don't think with those synergies he's anywhere near an endgame goalie. But right now he is probably the top of the totem pole for goalies. So we got to give him the 4 Chewies here. Doughty. The next franchise great we have here is Doughty. He's played for the Los Angeles Kings since 2008. He still plays up to this day. And everyone always regards him as one of the best defensemen in any of these games because he has probably the best height-to-weight ratio for a defenseman. Him and Chris Letang have like the perfect height-to-weight ratios. At 6'1", 200 pounds, right-handed shot. Obviously a defenseman, as I mentioned already. And this guy's skating, 88 speed, 88 acceleration with 92 agility. Great for a defenseman. He has 95 endurance. I know I mentioned endurance before with the defenseman when I was talking about the lit versus grit cards. And endurance is huge for a defenseman because he's going to be out there for a long time. He could get stuck on the ice. So you want to have a guy that does not fatigue. Looking at his shooting, very good shot. 91 plus power. 92 slap shot power is ridiculous with 86 accuracy. Really liking that for my defenseman. Then you're looking at his hands, 95 passing. What's this dude? This dude's going to be out there dropping dimes like John Stockton did, just absolutely dishing it around from the defensive position. Could definitely be a power play quarterback. Great offensive awareness at 92. And then you're looking at his puck control, 94. That's also big for defensemen. As for his defense, his body checking at 86 is a little bit disappointing. And yes, that's disappointing, but you come back to his checking category here. 94 defensive awareness, 92 shot blocking, 93 stick checking. Absolutely beautiful, guys. That's what you love to see from your defenseman. If I'm paying premium for defensemen, I want to have a guy that can stick check, aka poke check, aka be annoying as all hell, because this dude's going to be up your butt, just tapping that right bumper, that R1, giving people a bunch of trouble with the poke check here. That's what you like to see. And he's going to be good at intercepting passes with a 94 defensive awareness. As for his synergies, Swarm is one of the top tier team synergies in my personal opinion. Gladiator is also not a terrible one for defensemen. It does up what he lacks, which is the body checking. And it makes his defensive awareness ridiculous in 97. So I do like the synergies for a defenseman, and I do like Swarm as a team synergy. Therefore, this Doughty is going to get 4.5 Chewies. The reason he gets the 4.5 Chewies and not the 5 Chewies like Koivu got, I'm going to explain this a little bit because I haven't done too many Chewy reviews for the hockey part of this channel. And the reason he gets the 4.5 Chewies and not the 5 Chewies is really he doesn't have the same longevity that Koivu does. Do I think he can stay in your top 6? Yes. But honestly, there's going to be defensemen that you're going to want. Like, you're going to want one or two guys that are like 6'6" or very big bodied. Like Doughty is only going to really be in like a 4 defenseman spot. And you're going to want to pair him with like a Victor Hedman, or like last year there was a guy named Chiza that was a big 6'4" body but skated fast. Being that he doesn't have the top tier low 90 speed, it hurts him a little bit longevity-wise. But he's still 4.5 Chewies, which is a great rating. If you guys watch the MLB The Show channel, I don't give out that high of ratings that much, but these cards overall are pretty amazing. We're going to go with 4.5 Chewies here with Doughty. Let me know if you guys agree with him, or you guys think that Doughty has a longevity, a lot longer longevity than what I'm thinking. He might even have better longevity than Koivu in some of your guys' opinion. You guys have to let me know. Jerome Iginla. At the beginning of this video, when we're going over the sets, I asked you guys to guess who you thought my favorite player was. Maybe some of you guys guessed, or maybe thought in your head. I gave you a little bit of a hint that he played for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, he was the only guy that played for the Pittsburgh Penguins out of the 4 guys, so it should have been pretty easy if you guys are a big hockey fan. But here it is, Jerome Iginla, the right winger for the Calgary Flames for a long time, was their captain. Absolutely ridiculous player. Right-handed shot, 6'1", 210 pounds. Personally, in the game, I play him on left wing because of the right-handed shot. And he has what I feel is the best synergy with distributor, a decent synergy with wingman. For this Iginla, though, man, they really let him down with the speed. He was a little bit of a burner back in his day. He wasn't like super, super fast. He wasn't going to blow you away. He wasn't Gabrick. He wasn't Pavel Bure. He wasn't any of those guys. But he was still a fast skater. He wasn't like some super slow guy. But he did have more of a rap of being a power forward because he was heavy on the body. He beat you up if you had a problem with him. He was good at defending his players as the captain on the Flames. Just an overall guy that I respected for his grit and the way he played. And I think that translated to EA Sports giving him too slow of a card, in my personal opinion. He has 85 acceleration, 89 agility, 87 speed with 90 balance. It's going to be a little bit hard to get off the puck with the 90 balance, but the speed here I think hurts him a little bit. The meta for the game this year is all about being fast, speed, and agility. You don't really have too many power forwards. Because they made like the fast guys like way faster than like the gritty, grindy guys, as they should be because that's how they were in real life. But speed definitely kills this year. And then looking at his shot, he has 89 in the accuracies and 91 in the powers. So that's a pretty good shot. The deking obviously wasn't much of a deker at 87, but he does have 95 offensive awareness, but then his hand-eye is 88. So those attributes contradict each other a little bit. You want to see that hand-eye up in the 90s, and he'd be a lot better as a net front presence, but 88 is definitely very, very good. Looking at his passing, 92, puck control, 92. These are great things. The body checking, 89 body checking, 92 strength. I like those stats for a guy that's supposed to be a power forward. His checking is phenomenal. 93 defensive awareness, 92 stick checking. Really like to see that from a power forward. And he actually has 85 faceoffs. I mean, you could use him at center. I don't know if I would use him at center. But it is a guy that, like, it wouldn't be the worst move to use him at center, 85 faceoffs. I'm not sure why his faceoffs are that high. I'd have to go look at his career statistics to see if he was, like, a good faceoff man, even though he played winger. What I will say about Iginla is he's my favorite player out of these four. He does have distributor, which helps him a lot. The card, I think, is the worst of the four cards, if I'm being 100% honest. I think there's a lot of other good wingers. I think some of the other master items that have come out are better than this Iginla. Like, I don't think you're getting a guy that has super longevity with the 87 speed. Even if you get distributor and bump that up to 90, I guess it makes him a little bit better. But the reason that Koivu has all that longevity is the fact that he is 100% a penalty killer, two-way forward. This Iginla does not have that. Therefore, I'm going to go with 4 Chewies on Iginla. The distributor keeps him at 4 Chewies. If he had a worse team synergy, he'd probably get 3 to 3.5 Chewies. The synergy is really keeping him afloat here at the 4 Chewies. But honestly, it's a disappointing card for me, being that he's one of my favorite players growing up, which is unfortunate. But 4 Chewies is still a solid rating. He's a solid card. If you're a Jerome Iginla fan and you obviously are building these sets and you want to play with your favorites, play with Iginla. Why not? He's more than a sufficient card. So to round up this video, I'm going to tell you guys who I would personally pick. And the only reason I'm saying this, and this might baffle you guys a little bit. Now, I'm showing the 91 overall pictures, but obviously this will be based off the 90 overalls. The guy that I would actually pick out of the 4 if I had a choice would be Drew Doughty. And the reason I'm saying Drew Doughty is right-handed defensemen are just harder to find than anything else. I think Koivu could be in your lineup the longest. I think he could be used the best in my personal opinion. But I would pick Doughty only because right-handed defensemen are hard to come by. And because of that, Doughty maybe has a little bit more value than I gave him original credit for. And right now in the game, there's just not too many great defensemen. Although they did just have Parenko, so I guess maybe you wouldn't need Doughty, but I would think that Doughty has a little bit more value than Koivu in the game right now. Longevity-wise, if you already have a stacked team, you already have 6 good defensemen, I'd pick Koivu and put him somewhere in the centers. That 91 faceoff is going to be hard to beat long-term. And then I would go Iginla, then Brodeur. I don't think Brodeur has the great synergies compared to some of the other goalies you could possibly have. Even though he's probably the best goalie in the game, I don't think it's worth because of the synergies. So I would go Doughty. You could also go Koivu. And then Iginla after that. You only really pick Iginla if you really want to play with like your favorite player. And then Brodeur is dead last. So it's really, do you need a defenseman? You need a forward. Pick one of the two. Iginla is in the second tier here in Brodeur. See you later, bud. I don't care how many games you won or how many times you beat my Pittsburgh Penguins. You're the worst in this pack of 4 cards that you could pick from. Anyway, guys, after that little mini rant on the New Jersey Devils and Brodeur and how much I hate him, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope it helped you guys out. I hope that you guys enjoyed the Chewy reviews. If you guys do like them, let me know, and I'll continue to do them. I'm probably going to continue to do them anyways, even if you absolutely hate them, because I just enjoy bringing content to you guys. However, I appreciate all the support you guys have given me so far. You guys have a great day, and be safe.